Empire Builders. So I'm going to walk you through what it's like for the customer to actually sign up for a lead magnet, what they see when they sign up, and then what's happening on the back end to actually make this happen. So first, when you have a new lead magnet, where are you going to promote it? What I have pulled up right now is my Instagram account for Conquer the Digital Empire. You'll see that here up in the bio, I've actually included a link to the newest lead magnet that we've created, a guide about refining your online course or coaching idea. So you see there's a link right up here. I've also made a feed post, a reel actually, that's talking about this new lead magnet and directing people to click the link in bio to sign up for it. So what does it look like when they actually click this link? Well, it will actually land them onto a landing page that I designed on my website. I'm using Squarespace to design my landing page. If it's your first time making a landing page, it doesn't have to be super complicated. You basically need to have the name of what your lead magnet is, a little blurb about how this will benefit your target audience. And then what's most important here is this form where they're going to give you their email address. And I typically ask for the first name. And my lead magnet, again, is this workbook. So I've included this graphic here on the right-hand side, just a sneak peek of what's inside the workbook. If I'm scrolling down just a little bit, there's just some additional information about what they'll get when they download this workbook. You're always trying to highlight what are the benefits for the audience if they're signing up for your lead magnet, whether that's a workbook, a checklist, a free audio guide. And of course, try to include a little bit about yourself. Why did you create this lead magnet? That's what this bottom section is right here, where I'm describing why I was motivated to create this workbook in the first place. And this video right here is actually the same video that I posted on Instagram. So I'm using that video in two different places to get more use out of that video. I want to use it in as many places as possible. Let's take a look at what happens when they actually sign up. I'm going to type in my email address, put my name, and watch what happens when I click download workbook. It's taking me now to a thank you page. And on that thank you page, it's showing again that workbook image just to show them that I didn't take them somewhere bizarre. I say, thanks so much for requesting the workbook. We've emailed you the link to the guide. Please check your inbox to confirm your email address. And then if you don't receive it for some reason, because sometimes it might end up in their promotions or spam folder, I'm putting, you can always email us at hello@conquerthedigitalemempire.com if you don't get it. You could also direct them to other resources that you've created. So in my case, from here, they could also check out our blog for other resources. But the main action really is having them check their email for a link to the guide. So I'm going to hop into my inbox and show you what that actually looks like. I use Gmail. So you see up here, this new link from myself, since I signed up with my own email. It's that email that I promised on the thank you page. Download, find your in-demand online course or coaching idea. And when I click in, here's this message where I basically reiterate that I want them to confirm their email address and that in addition to receiving this workbook, they're also agreeing that I can continue to send them emails going forward about content, products, and other events that my business is hosting. And so this is a really important step because someone could just sign up with a bogus email or not be very serious and actually wanting to engage with you. The people who sign up for your lead magnet, who really want it, be willing to go through this extra step of clicking this button to confirm their email. And once they click it, it's going to take them straight to the workbook that I promised. So it's pulling up all the pages of the PDF. They can now download this directly to their computer. I have delivered on the promise of giving them this workbook. But how did it actually happen on the back end? So now I'm going to take you into email marketing provider, which is ConvertKit. There's different email marketing tools out there. ActiveCampaign is another one. But I have found ConvertKit to be the most user-friendly. It's made specifically with course creators and coaches in mind. And what I wanted to show you, not a whole deep dive into ConvertKit, but just the pieces that made that process happen. So in ConvertKit, you have the ability to create this form. Remember how I was showing you that I want to collect their email address, their first name, and then we've got this button called Download Workbook. This form right here on my website was created in ConvertKit. Email marketing platforms have the ability for you to create these forms and form fields that you can embed into other pages. Now, I want you to see up here on the top right where it says setting. I want the form, when someone fills it out, to automatically send They call it an incentive email. This is an email that will be sent to new subscribers because, again, we want them to confirm their email address, right? So see here, there was that subject line that I showed you when I opened up my Gmail account. And here's that message where I was asking them to please confirm their email address so that I can continue to give them the workbook and then send them emails going forward. I set all of that up here within ConvertKit. Something else that's happening in the background, see where I have that button called Download Workbook? When I close this, there's a section down here that says, hey, after someone confirms their email address, what should that button take them to? In this case, I want it to take them to a download, and that's where they're going to download that PDF that I just showed you. So this is that PDF. Remember, you click the button and get the PDF. That's what I selected and uploaded at this step. If I decide to change this download to a different PDF in the future, I would just upload a different PDF from my computer. I mentioned before that them signing up for your lead magnet is just the first step of the customer journey. You're not just sending them this one thing and then you don't talk to them again. The whole point is to build this email list so that you can nurture them, build up that know, like, trust factor. So how is that know, like, trust factor being built? That's when automations really come into play. Automations, as the name implies, are things that are automatically happening in the background. ConvertKit has this awesome feature called visual automations where you can actually build out a workflow of the journey that your customer is going through. I have a workflow that says, hey, if someone fills out my form for that workbook, I want them to get tagged with this particular tag. And just think of tags as ways that you can label people on your email list. So in this case, I have a label getting attached that says this person has received the online course or coaching workbook. Tags is a deeper topic I will dive into in a separate video. But what's happening is they're going to get a tag. And then 1 day later, that's the 1 day clock symbol there. 1 day later, I want to send that person who just signed up a welcome sequence where I get to introduce myself and my company to that new person. So that's what this other tag is doing. When someone gets tagged with this particular label, that's actually kicking off this other automation over here. It's another workflow that when someone gets welcome to Conquer the Digital Empire, that's going to be the trigger to them getting my newsletter welcome. And just to click in here, you can briefly just see, what am I saying in my welcome? If you're on my list already, you've gotten a version of this welcome email already. That's where I introduce myself and my husband, how we're a creative studio for course creators and coaches, giving them a taste of who we are, a bit of our backstory, and then more importantly, how we can support them. Because people who are signing up for the lead magnet probably don't really know us very well yet, and I want them to understand that we're here to serve them. I bullet point out the main topics that we'll be sending them, and that above all, we want our content to help them take action. And then I end with ways to stay connected, so pointing them back to our Instagram account, and then book a discovery call. That's the other action I want them to take. When you're sending someone a welcome sequence, what are 1 or 2 key actions you want them to take after you've introduced yourself to them? Is it for them to follow you on social media? Is it for them to reply to that email? Or perhaps you want them to go ahead and book a call so they can start chatting with you about whatever their biggest challenge is. And then last but not least, it's just a sign off expressing how excited we are that they've joined the email list. After they've received this email, which remember, they're getting this a day later after they've gotten that initial lead magnet. Once they receive this welcome sequence, then they're going to start regularly receiving weekly or bi-weekly emails as part of being in our newsletter. You can decide what cadence you're going to be sending your emails. It's really up to you and like what you want to test with your audience. But I do think emailing them at least bi-weekly and then shifting to weekly is a really good place to start. That was in the process of them starting from signing up for your workbook or whatever your lead magnet is, all the way to them getting a welcome email. That was just a very quick overview. Let me know in the comments if you have more questions on what you want me to dive more in on. Thank you for watching.